Hi guys, welcome to Vita Sports YouTube channel, and we've got the founder of Vita Sports, Darren Long, here, who Vita Sports is a globally run sports management firm, and Darren here is an ECB registered agent and has 20 plus years of experience. So there's a lot we're going to talk to him about today and get some insights about the sports agent, sports management industry. So hi, Darren.
Hi, man. How you doing?
Good, good. Thanks for joining us. And I want to straight get to your advice, what your advice would be for a youngster for a youngster who wants to get into sports. And what would your advice also be for their parents?
Right. Okay. Yeah. I think the first bit of advice I'd give to any youngster and for the parents is, do it for enjoyment at first. Just go out, enjoy it, play different sports, practice, play as much as you can. As a parent, I think don't be too pushy. Don't put too much pressure on your child. I think we all know, as parents have really pushed children, and we're kind of burnt out sometimes as a middle teenager and fell out of the sport, even ones who've gone on to be young internationals. So I think from a parent's point of view, I think it's just encourage and give them as many opportunities as possible, and focus on the effort of the child rather than the result. If you know your child has given 100%, the outcome I don't think really matters too much. We did an interview with Peter Malan, South African player, recently, and Peter, I think, summed it up well when he said, his parents never judged him and his brothers. If they got a duck at cricket or 150, they got treated the same as long as they tried the best. And it obviously worked for them because we've got three top cricketers and 2 South African internationals there. It's just go and enjoy it and see where it takes you. And, when you find a sport that's right for you, if you want to push on, then go for it.
I think that's very well said. It's important, carrying on from Darren's point, important to give your children freedom and to let them express themselves, especially at a young age. And then coming to that, how does the focus, do you think, how does it change, when a youngster makes it to the academy level, from the academy level to becoming a professional?
Yeah, I think you've obviously got to a decent level then, and you're kind of on the first steps to making it as a professional athlete. I'd say the first thing is don't think you've made it. Again, I've seen that as a common mistake. I think football, cricket, people, they might be 16, get an academy contract, and that's it. They think they've made it. And the same with pro, to be fair. I've seen 18-year-olds get a pro contract, best time of their life. It could be released, a few months down the line. So don't think you made it. The hard work's only just sort of just beginning then, I would say. I think it's a case of making sure your feet are on the ground and you're going to work harder than ever when you get that opportunity, because the hard work is literally just beginning then.
I think we talk about the age category of 16 to 18, which is a very difficult age category, especially when you want to make your name, when you're coming up from the ranks of the academy to actually becoming a professional or playing under 19 sport. What advice would you give to a youngster at that age right now who's looking to play football, cricket, or any other sport as a career?
I think, again, you've obviously got a decent amount of ability at that stage of your career. So I think attitude is a big thing. Working hard, making sure you work hard, listening to your coaches. Nearly always the coaches have got your best interests at heart. If something's a problem there, then that needs looking at, obviously. But it really is, I think it's showing what value you can give to the team. Again, I've seen too many sports people who are like, what can the team or club do for me? I think at that age, or any age really, you've got to prove what you can give back. Even if that's cricket, if that's running the drinks on as a 12th man, just helping out how you can. Coaches and people appreciate that. You're a team player, and it's always going to be looked on favourably, rather than if it's all about yourself. And I think if it is all about yourself, you're putting a lot of extra pressure on you, and you've got to perform at a higher level then, in many respects, because if you're not performing, at a top level, and you've got a bit of an attitude and ego, naturally, people are probably going to be more likely to leave you out of the team. So I think it's just realise, have a think about what you can offer to the team environment that's around you. I'd say another thing is I'd probably say sort of don't put all your eggs in one basket. You're on the first step of an exciting adventure, but as we know, the figures suggest, there's a good chance you won't, you may not make it. So, make sure you continue things like education or something else, some other passion you've got. So if the things don't quite work out, you're prepared and you're ready to move in another direction if that's the case. And, that way you're kind of less devastated if you unfortunately don't get taken on. But I just think just do everything you can in your power to make the team want to take you on and get you involved. And say attitude, working hard sounds boring, but that is what what makes the difference between many players. A lot of coaches have said to me, we know this player's got the talent, it's attitude. We don't, it's the attitude what's going to make or break.
I think over the span of your career, Darren, you have dealt with and worked with academies and coaches. What do you think you expect as a cricket agent from academies and coaches in terms of how do they do player management? How do they take care of their players?
I think you need honesty, you need regular feedback. If it was my son, daughter, I'd want to know, how are we progressing? I'd like to know where can we improve, and I think cricket's pretty good at that. I think football, not so good in my experience. Some are exceptional, some are really bad. So I've seen in football a lot where players get to 18 and they haven't got a clue whether the parents if they're going to get taken on or not. In fact, even one club who's well known for bringing on young talent, I know that they literally lined their players up in the sort of waiting room of the club and told them individually whether they were being taken on or not. And none of them had actually got a clue. It was pretty brutal. I know other ones where clubs have released players, and the player might not have even been getting any game time for literally months sometimes. And it's pretty clear they're going to get released. But the parents, the family are utterly devastated because they don't see it coming, because they don't know, because there's been no communication. And that is the worst side of sport, and it does go on. On the flip side, say a lot of places, a lot of clubs, they give early warnings to players. They explain that perhaps they need to improve in certain areas, and they might prepare them for the fact they're leaving. I've known clubs, to be fair, I know players who've been at Manchester United in football, and Manchester United have helped them get other clubs who've gone out of the way to help them with clubs further down the ladder. So I've also seen the other side where we've just literally been released and that's it. You might have been with us since you're 6 years old. You've been with us over a decade. We're not keeping you, and that's it. Off you go. I just think that's appalling. And I think it should. I think what I would say is it should never come as a shock to any player or family when we're being released. They should have been fully aware of basically, how their career's been progressing and if they're falling short. So I would hate to think, that any other player would be put in this, whether put in a line and told whether they get a contract or not. I just think that's bordering on brutal, basically. So I think that's what I'd kind of say is the main thing, is just regular feedback and helping players along the route, and helping them even if they do get released is a vital part that I would expect from any academy setup.
But you being a sports manager / agent, what can you do for a player during that stage of their career?
From my point of view, I think the communication side is very big. Like with cricket now, obviously, taking England, for example, but, many of the teams around the world, we've got the communication with the coaches, with the directors of cricket and so on. So again, it's so that player isn't left in the dark about knowing what's going on. And a lot of players, in fact, even senior players, international players, are not always comfortable having chats with their coaches and directors of cricket. So it's kind of just important for me that I have that dialogue going, you know, so if you're the coach of mine, I'd be, you know, how's such and such doing, you know, does something he needs to work on. Again, I've seen players who in cricket in the second team game might have got 2 5-wicket hauls in 2 games. They might have hit 2 70s. They might have scored 2 goals in football. And then all of a sudden they get kind of down because they're like, well, why am I not getting an opportunity? Their attitude goes, and then they start, you know, kind of misbehaving and just showing a bad attitude and then dropping off. And then you can speak to the coaches and say, you know, they're like, what's up with a man? Why is he all of a sudden changed? And they've not had that communication to realise that the player's a bit disgruntled. So it's important that I can ring the coach saying, why have you not picked a man? You know, he's played really well, he's got his ring. And the coach might go, oh, we're really happy with him, he's the next one up, his chance is going to come. And then you'll find if you get that feedback, you know that, and you keep working and you'll be in there. But yeah. I've literally seen careers finish because players they've not had that communication, and then their attitude's gone and they've annoyed the coaches, and it's kind of just spirals into a bad situation. So I think that's, again, you know, in terms of also whether the players are going to get contracts, it's making sure that they're aware what we need to be doing to improve or to get that pro deal. And so say, you know, so it doesn't come as a shock to them, so that they know exactly what they've got to do. And then if, you know, and also finding out as early as we can if they are going to be released. So if that is the case, we need to be looking at options. You don't want to be waiting late down the line where, you know, you're then with hundreds of other people in your position. You want to be working out, getting things sorted quickly, getting other opportunities. If it's cricket, if you're going to get released from your county and you know it, you want, I know, and I've had directors of cricket say, do you want me to tell the player? And I'm like, yeah, tell them as soon as possible. You're not doing any favours by not telling them. And then I can start working and speaking to other teams and saying, can you give a man a game in the second team? You know, here, there. And then quite often they go and get a contract with another team, which is, you know, it's fine. It gets them through. So I just think that's an absolute vital part, because I say I do see where players just don't understand where they're going, and it comes as a shock, and we're not prepared. So it's just preparation, really, and having the chance to do something about not, you know, about sort of defining where your career is going to go, and if you're not quite where you need to be, knowing about it. And I think that's the worst thing, is when players have never had any feedback, no one's told them what they're failing at, what they're not doing well. They just constantly, you know, tick boxes at appraisals. Yeah, doing well, you're released. That can't be right. Because the guys are like, well, what did I do wrong? Well, nothing. But you didn't do enough right. But they deserve to know that. They have a right to know that.
Yeah.
Because it's just unfair otherwise. And I say, I've seen it happen too many times. And more so in football than cricket.
I want to ask you, what do you consider are the benefits of a sporting career?
A sporting career, well, yeah, many benefits. I spent my whole life in sport, love it, and I'm sure one way or another I'll spend, you know, the rest of my life in sport. I just think it's, you know, you've obviously got the teamwork, the camaraderie, you know, you're keeping fit, the chance to go around the world with most sports, and you know, and I think you need to be in it for sport's sake, not for the glamour, the glitz, and the, you know, starting off, you know, about the money. I just think, you know, you've got to love sport. Again, I have seen sportsmen who actually hate playing sport. You know, that is not common, don't get me wrong. But again, you kind of, you know, you're in it for the wrong reasons, and I'm sure it started off for all the right reasons. The same for parents, you know, don't get your son, daughter to play football with an eye on the riches, and, you know, it could be a Premier League footballer, and, you know, we'll end up with the material gains. You just got to be wanting to do it for sport first and foremost.
Thanks for that. a few youngsters or fathers who are watching, Vita Sports also works with various schools and academies. Darren, could you please tell us about the organizations and the schools you work with?
Yeah, it's something we've grown over the last couple of years. We work with some, a lot of independent schools around the world, predominantly in England. So, it gives an opportunity for parents who want their children to come over, play sports. Could be cricket, could be football, could be hockey, could be swimming, golf, whatever. Which obviously gives them great opportunities to come over, get an education, which is really good. We're also linked with academies all around the world, which is also fantastic, because if you're in the right academies, and there's obviously literally thousands of academies, particularly in India, as you well know, Matt. So it's just making sure you're going to the right academies that are gonna help you adapt. And again, not just as a player, mentally, physically. Now it's strength and conditioning, the psychology of the game, the physiology. It's just making sure you're getting the right experiences to grow as a person, as well as an athlete. So that's a big part for us, is sort of trying to create the right environments and opportunities for youngsters to move their career forward.
Thanks for the lovely chat, Darren. Really, really insightful with what you've just told the audience. And guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, Vita Sports. And for more information, you can also look at other videos on the YouTube channel as well as the website. Thanks for joining.